A land of dark, mysterious beauty, cradled in deep silence. Here in the Mackenzie Basin of New Zealand, a graceful wading bird confronts extinction. Every year, the black stilt grows increasingly beleaguered. Fewer than 70 birds survive in the wild. European animals imported in the 19th century represent a major threat. They prey on black stilt young, which seldom escape to reach maturity. Faced with overwhelming dangers, the black stilt has retreated to a few shallow rivers in the upland basin. This is where its fate will be decided. Even the youngest chicks will play their part in the struggle for survival, and the odds may be against them. It is winter, and it is freezing in the high country. The thermometer reads -50, typical weather for this climate of extremes. Winter is the black stilt's easiest season, for it is virtually alone. This is the one time of year when it does not have to compete for food. In clear, open waters, the stilt is a master at pecking small fish by sight. When the waters grow cloudy, it uses its beak like a scythe, sweep feeding on small worms. Soon, the black will have a more varied menu. Damselflies will populate the backwaters. The eggs they lay under watery leaves will hatch into larvae, a major source of nourishment for the stilt. Just before spring, a cousin of the black arrives. This is the pied stilt, which spends the rest of the year up north. Ages ago, the black and the pied evolved from the same ancestor, but the blacks eventually migrated, and many settled on New Zealand's South Island. Sealed all around by miles of ocean, this place was well protected from unwelcome visitors. Here, solitary by nature, the stilts could be alone. The trouble started in the 1800s, when predatory animals were brought here by European settlers. Ferrets were intended to control the rabbit population. They bred prolifically, and in addition to rabbits, they preyed voraciously on the black stilt. So did another European import, the Norway rat. These new immigrants distorted the Mackenzie Basin's natural balance. For the black stilt, this environment is no longer a place of solitude or safety. The changes that threaten the black stilt have made little difference to its northern cousin. Already, pied stilts outnumber the blacks by 500 to 1. With their longer legs, the pieds can feed in deeper waters. Still, they often feed along with blacks in shallow places. In these conditions, skirmishes are not uncommon. Unlike the more fickle pied, the black stilt is monogamous, choosing only one mate for life. They build their nests along the riverbanks, where mayfly larvae cluster under stones. A seemingly ideal place to raise new chicks. Ideal in one way, but not in another. Long ago, before the riverbank became a highway for predators, the stilts could build their unprotected nests with little risk. Now, danger lurks at almost every turn. Springtime, a season most of us think of with joy, the black stilt has good reason to fear. Food is scarce, and predators are hungry. These stilts laid 4 eggs. All are quickly devoured by a Norway rat. The pair will have to nest again later in the season. With a second home finally established, the blacks share all the nesting duties equally. Every hour or so, the male takes over while the female moves off to feed. Even now, the dangers are far from over. The ferret is a deadly foe to black and pied stilts alike. This pied stilt is feigning a broken wing to distract the predator away from her nest. It's a useful skill, and one the black does not possess. An important reason why the pieds are flourishing while their cousins face extinction. Another hazard is the unpredictable climate. Even spring nights can go below freezing. By the time the black's new chicks are ready to hatch, it's already late spring. If the parents aren't careful, all their nestlings will perish from the bitter cold. That's a fate the stilts can ill afford. Two young chicks survive, an almost miraculous event for the diminishing black stilt clan. When the chicks are a few days old, the family moves from the river to the backwater, where food is more plentiful. Here, danger too is more abundant. A bird the stilt has lived with peacefully all winter now becomes an enemy. The harrier hawk has her own young to feed. She leaves them in the nest and brings home anything she can find. Fresh rabbit will do, and so would a young stilt chick. This is an ancient battle, and it's one arena where the black still masterfully holds her own. The hawk will have to go elsewhere for her meal. Long after the black stilts, the pieds are finally nesting. Unlike the blacks, they breed in colonies, building their nests in protective swamps. This black-billed gull is no real danger. He's just a scavenger, looking for abandoned eggs. He only becomes dangerous if he leaves a broken shell behind. Should a harrier hawk happen to spot it, the hidden pied colony could be revealed. A helpful neighbor removes the refuse. This cooperation is another reason why the pieds survive so well, overcoming problems that severely undermine the blacks. The pieds are also more successful parents. Their nesting place is hidden, and their chicks are born in summer when food is more abundant. High summer in the Mackenzie Basin can look and sound like a circus. Wading birds gather by the hundred for freshwater feeding. Strange and wonderful sights are common here this time of year. Stilts run happily on pencil-thin legs beneath the bellies of sheep. But the most amazing sight of all may be this: the harrier hawk and the black stilt feeding side by side. Now, with plenty of food around, one doesn't see the other as prey. The pieds are here too. With their long legs, they can feed in waters that the blacks can't even reach. Still, aggressive by nature, they do their best to keep the blacks away. Almost lost in the crowd is a new kind of intruder, a hybrid, the result of interbreeding between black and pied stilts. Unable to find mates in their diminishing population, many blacks are forced to breed with their northern cousins. Someday, only hybrids may remain. The mixture raises many questions. Will the hybrid behave like a pied, which migrates north when fall arrives? Or will he be more like a black, which stays here through the freezing winter? And most importantly, will interbreeding mean the disappearance of the last remaining black stilts? The birds can only wait and see, for now it is fall, a season that brings challenges of its own. Legendary warm winds gust at up to 125 miles an hour. The tiny black must struggle to retain its balance as it looks for food. Only the hawk glides trouble-free. Northwesterly winds are met by cold southerlies. For many birds, it is time to leave. But the black stilt will remain, for this is its home, and winter is still the season in which it is master over this land. Winter has never been the black stilt's problem. Neither has autumn with its fickle winds, or summer with its flooding waters, for the black is well adapted to these dangers. But this graceful bird may not be strong enough to overcome its newest enemies, and every solitary flight may be its last.